The problem with climate change is that there's never been a day in the history of the world in which the climate isn't changing. Anybody who's ever studied geology knows that the climate changes, okay? I'm not sure anybody knows exactly why. We have 186% of normal snowpack. That's global warming. These may sound like clips from basket case YouTube conspiracy theorists or just satirical comedy sketches. But every statement was made by powerful and respected US senators. We might just dismiss them as isolated incidences of ignorance, but climate change is seen as illegitimate by millions across the world, some of whom have influences over multi-billion-dollar budgets. One of the most powerful figures in the world, who also happens to be a denier of climate change, is everyone's favorite annoying orange, Donald Trump. He's long questioned if climate change is even real and flat out denies that climate change is a major threat despite the vast array of physical evidence and near complete consensus of the global scientific community, the military, and the US Department of Defense, who says that climate change is a national security issue. He once even tweeted that climate change was just a hoax made by the Chinese in order to undermine US manufacturing. Recently, he made the decision to pull the US out of the Paris Accord, which is an international environmental protection agreement. This may influence other signatories to do the same, which could possibly be catastrophic considering climate change is already affecting our planet in very noticeable ways. For instance, massive floods are occurring because of the melting of the polar ice caps and glaciers. In fact, the 2007 movie An Inconvenient Truth theorized that the sea level rise and storm surge brought on by climate change would lead to the flooding of the 9/11 site. It was massively criticized and called a terrible exaggeration. But Hurricane Sandy came in 2012 and the site was overrun with ocean water. In addition, West Nile virus is spreading even more quickly because mosquitoes have a longer breeding period due to increased planet temperatures. This is a global health risk according to the Center for Tropical Research at UCLA. These are obviously important and pressing issues that threaten people's very lives and society at large. But because of climate change denial, we can't act as quickly as we need to. In order to combat climate change, we need to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions immediately. If not, the world's temperature can increase by 5 degrees by the year 2100, causing massive ecosystem damage and even more severe droughts and wildfires, and an ever-increasing sea level. While we stand bickering, the earth is dying around us. It may seem like I'm preaching to the choir by telling you all about how terrible climate change is, but you have to understand this is not the ignorance of the irrelevant. We can't just dismiss it, because more and more of this kind of thinking is behind billion-dollar decisions. I beg of you, don't just roll your eyes and dismiss it when you hear this kind of talk. Take time to educate your family, your peers, even strangers on the internet if you must. This planet is our one and only home, and it's being killed by those who wish to exploit it. And we can't allow the world to turn a blind eye. Our Earth has been a haven for us, and as a species, we must do our part in turn to protect it.